Hey, this is Daryl Henry with Insurance for Entrepreneurs, and this video is what is employment practices liability insurance. It's a coverage line that a lot of business owners and nonprofits overlook until it's too late, and then they're stuck with a large attorney bill. So, in this video, I'm going to break down for you what it covers and why you need it. So, every time you hire, fire, promote, or discipline an employee, there's a risk, even if you've done everything by the book. Your business could still get hit with a lawsuit. So that's where employment practices liability insurance steps in. It protects you from lawsuits related to wrongful termination, discrimination, sexual harassment, retaliation, failure to promote, and breach of employment contract. Now, here in Maryland, a lot of people will tell me, "Hey, it's an at-will state. I can fire anybody for any reason," and that's true. You can also get sued for any reason. And that's where it comes in. So let me tell a couple stories to try and illustrate the point. I saw a school once, and they had built up a solid case about an employee, why they were not doing their job. They were not a good teacher, and they let her go. She also happened to be pregnant. And she came back and sued and said, "You fired me because I'm pregnant." That was a very expensive court case to settle. Another story, nonprofit person that worked in their kitchen. They run a soup kitchen. He was showing up late. He was leaving the kitchen a mess, and he was leaving early to deliver for, well, we'll say Grubhub. And they warned him a couple times, and they built a file, and they took pictures of the kitchen after he left, and they said, "You got to stop doing this, or we're going to have to let you go." Well, he did it again, and they let him go. And then he came back and sued and said, "You did it because I'm a minority," which was kind of odd because both the executive director and business manager were also not white. But he made that suit anyway, and that cost him a lot of money to settle. So, these are examples of you can document your file perfectly. You can do everything right and still have somebody come back and get an attorney, and it gets very expensive for your organization to settle. And employment practices attorneys typically cost about $500 an hour. So it doesn't take a lot of money. It doesn't take a lot for you to rack up a very serious attorney bill. And so here's the kicker: employment practices liability insurance is not covered under a standard general liability insurance policy. General liability insurance policies assume that you're going to buy this coverage under employment practices liability insurance. General liability is for bodily injury and property damage, where what we're talking about with employment practices liability insurance is a form of wrongful act. It's failing to manage a workforce properly, which is why it's not covered under a policy that's designed to protect you for hurting somebody or breaking something like physical types of damage. Employment practices liability policies typically cover your legal fees, settlement costs, and even judgments up to your policy limits. You can also get access to legal support and HR resources to help prevent these issues in the first place. There's typically a ton of resources available. Insurance companies are all about helping you prevent lawsuits, so they'll give things like sample handbooks and help you keep up to date on local laws, and some will even give you access to attorneys that you can talk to for a couple hours to see if you have a potential claim that needs to be filed. So you just need to know what's available in those insurance companies. Which brings it all back to, if you've got employees, even just one, you got employment related risks. And unfortunately, we haven't figured out how to run businesses without people yet. The AI revolution is coming, but it's not here just yet. So it, employment laws are constantly evolving. It's impossible to do things perfectly, which is why you need insurance to protect you for these types of lawsuits in case somebody comes back and says, "You fired me because I'm black, white, gay, Latino, transgender, I have white hair, red hair," whatever it is. It's especially important if you have a large team, a growing team, you handle hiring and firing in house, and you don't have dedicated HR support, or you operate in an industry that's high risk for employment claims. If you have high turnover, that can increase the probability of a claim. So, look, employment practices liability doesn't just protect your business, it gives you peace of mind because even if you win in court, the process of getting there can be very costly. It's very expensive to be innocent here in America. If you want to learn more about how employment practices liability insurance fits in with your overall suite of coverages and your business insurance strategy, reach out to me. My contact information is at insuranceforentrepreneurs.net. And if this video was helpful, please hit like and subscribe. It helps other people like you find the content. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Go build something great.